No matter the time of the year, it is always special to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and this is a very unique and significant weekend because NASCAR and IndyCar are together. The top two steps of NASCAR, Xfinity and Cup, and the top two steps of IndyCar, including INDY NXT by Firestone, here at the world's greatest race course. It's August, so you can expect it to be warm, and that's the case. We had a chance of rain at one point today, and there were some thinking this race would be in the wet, but it is clear. Hot, 86 degrees right now, and a very condensed weekend. One day on track for INDY NXT by Firestone. Round 10 of the 14-race championship. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kevin Lee along with Charlie Kimball. Well, tell me the significance. It's not May, but it's still the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Anytime you turn laps at the Brickyard, it's special. These young drivers get a chance to win at Indianapolis. Not the oval, but still the Indianapolis road course, May or August, matters.
And we're down to 5 to go in the championship. How much urgency is there? Maybe a little lack of patience in some cases, too.
I think we're going to start to see that aggression ratchet up throughout the course of these next few races. Anyone who has a hope of running down Christian Rasmussen and that championship leader, taking home the scholarship and the bonuses for winning this championship, they got to start now and carry it through Laguna Seca. everyone
that was here in May, not everyone though in this race today was here in May, but let's look at what they're facing today. And around this layout, 2.439 miles, just a little bit to the northwest of downtown Indianapolis.
And it is a very unique layout here inside the oval, utilizing some of the oval. Turn one, long straight into heavy braking, opportunity for chaos and challenge at the start, but good passing during the course of the event itself. And then the second longest straight into turn 7, really bumpy brake zone. Can catch drivers out, good passing opportunities again. And then another hot spot, turn 14. It should be flat out for these guys, but as those Firestones wear during the course of the event, it's going to make these cars a bit of a handful coming onto that front straight.
Qualifying was just about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, and the grid is set just a few moments ago. Georgia Henneberry caught up with somebody who's having a good day so far.
Hunter McElroy is going to start on the pole of today's race, and it's your first pole of the season. You felt like that pole position was already the win. So let's talk about the highs and the lows of the season, and then finally clinching this pole position here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway of all places.
Yeah, I'm just so relieved more than anything just to, be on pole. It's something that I've been comfortable with in my career. Obviously, leading is the best place to be. So I'm excited to lead the field of green, and like you said, it felt like a win, but obviously now we have the proper job to do. So looking forward to it.
And now you have to do it, and especially on a day like today where you practice, you qualify, and you race in the same day. How important is this starting position?
Yeah, it's been compact, but we rolled out good. So it's nice when you roll out the truck with a good car. Almost it benefits you more when it's so compact. So looking forward to it, and should be a fun 35 laps.
And for the first time of the season, we're going to see Hunter McElroy roll from the pole position here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Charlie, Kevin.
And he's coming off, and this shocked me when I was looking at stats this week, his first podium of the season, second last week in Nashville, and it's not been a great season. I know he came into it thinking championship, but he's still in play for the championship. What he's been able to do, I apologize, he had one other podium, a third at Road America, but it was his best finish, but he's had a lot of fourths and fifths and just stayed in the fight.
Yeah, but outside that 13th place finish at Barber, he's been in the top 5 and consistent. Yep. He's just looking for that spark, and I think if today breaks that door down, the momentum will come fast and heavy.
And there are still many that are in the championship fight that we'll detail as we continue. One driver has a little bit of an advantage right now. Christian Rasmussen is on a roll, and he has a nice 45-point buffer. Drivers are strapped in. We're about ready to go racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. We direct your attention to the victory podium, and here to give the command for today's INDY NXT by Firestone Grand Prix from Performance Tire Service Company, Pat Childs.
19 of them fired up, and it's a different 19. You're going to need to check your program each week The roster is going to change. We've got more drivers moving up from USF Pro 2000, some coming back after a few weeks away. And I think we'll see another new driver coming up next week. And we've got the onboard this week with Hunter McElroy, the pole sitter. The Smart Motors car for Andretti Autosport, with the view everyone loves to have. Nothing but the pace car, Charlie.
That's the best view in racing when you're starting a race. I started on the front row here for the Indianapolis Grand Prix in IndyCar, and when you come out of turn 14, all you see is asphalt in front of you. Especially at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's extremely special.
Well, I know you can make passes here, but there's so much chaos in turn 1, and just to not have to worry as much about it starting up front is critical. And Hunter McElroy gets it done with his first pole of the season on the front row. And how about James Rowe with his best career start, coming off his best finish in Nashville last week of 4th.
Yeah, great run for James Rowe. Kiffin Simpson inside of row 2. Previous pole sitter this year at Road America. Louis Foster, fastest this morning in practice. Not able to capitalize on that. Starting 4, still happy with that. Looking to turn that into a podium or maybe a win.
The Andretti cars do appear to be strong. Reese Gold, the 18-year-old from Miami, with a good qualifying position of 5th. Another 18, actually still 17-year-old, Josh Pearson, with his best starting spot of the season.
Nolan Siegel inside of row 4, looking to regain some momentum in the championship. Jacob Abel, not too disappointed with 8th. They really struggled with pace in practice as well as back in May, hoping to move forward in the race.
Championship leader Christian Rasmussen, maybe is the door still open. He starts back in 9th, his worst start of the season. Jamie Chadwick has her second best start of the season, riding 3 straight top 10s.
And Victor Franzoni, a returning INDY NXT driver in that 75 car that won here on the road course back in May, driven by Matteo Nannini. Daniel Frost outside of row 6.
In row number 7, we're going to see 19-year-old Brazilian Kiko Porto, who's stepping in the number 47 for Cape Motorsports. He is still going to finish the USF Pro 2000 Championship, where he is 2nd. And the next name is Ernie Francis Jr.
Christian Bogle in that HMD number 7. Inside of row 8, Rasmus Lind in the other Juncos Hollander racing car, number 76, outside of row 8.
Another driver finishing USF Pro 2000 is Francesco Pizzi in his 2nd Indy NXT race. And Jagger Jones, who skipped Pro 2000 in his rookie season after USF 2000 last year. And Colin Kaminsky, back after missing the last 3 races. We'll also see him in a couple of weeks at Worldwide Technology Raceway in a 3rd car for Able Motorsports. Back to Georgia.
Well, as we know, Christian Rasmussen starting 9th today, a less than ideal position if you're trying to win a championship. And I asked him if there was any issue in qualifying. He said, no, the car was fast and I'm comfortable, but just getting a clean lap was the issue in qualifying. So Rasmussen, of course, going for 3 in a row today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and now he's going to have to do it from that 9th position.
And in talking to the team earlier about that qualifying run, they all said they sort of tripped over each other. It's an 8-minute, really busy qualifying session, and so it's challenging to get a lap, especially when you're dealing with traffic, looking for gaps on track, and just frustrated not to turn that speed of the car into a good starting spot.
Let's sneak in Kimball's Keys.
Yeah, so today it's been a frenetic Friday. 3 sessions, practice, qualifying, and now the race. Who has been able to capitalize on having a good car to start? Hunter McElroy definitely starting up front. But everyone's chasing Christian. They're all thinking about how to hang as many points as possible on that 45-point lead. Christian Rasmussen, Nolan Siegel, Hunter McElroy, Jacob Abel, and Louis Foster all really still in that championship fight. We don't have many races left.
We are going to go green, this time by 35 laps or 55 minutes at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Part of Brickyard Weekend, NASCAR, IndyCar, all together. The top 2 steps of each series. How unique to see everyone together at one house. And we get to see future IndyCar stars go at it here. James Rowe on the outside in that Top Con blue car. Best start ever. Hunter McElroy right next to him on the inside, white and red. They are lined up perfectly. Back on the main straightaway, waiting, watching to cross the yard of bricks. We are green at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. McElroy gets the jump. James Rowe tucks in right behind him. Foster is going to swing out. Pearson looking for room around. Rowe thinks about the outside. McElroy maintains the lead. Foster in 3rd, right behind Rowe.
Christian Rasmussen, not the start he wanted, racing his teammate Nolan Siegel, drops a wheel as he comes through turn 2. Hunter McElway with a great jump, pulling away from James Rowe. That's exactly what he wanted to do, starting from pole.
Jacob Abel and Kiffin Simpson fighting for position there. That red and white Abel construction car gets the spot.
It's our championship leader, Christian Rasmussen, missing that second part of the chicane in turn 6. Everyone jockeying for position, knowing this first lap's the best opportunity. Jacob Abel muscling his way past Kiffin Simpson in turn 7.
Still trying to maintain that spot, and now he's trying to hold off Josh Pearson. Simpson started third, and it's going the wrong way here at the beginning.
This is how makes the stand. There you go.
We are told they are reviewing a shortcut for the 6. That's the championship leader, Christian Rasmussen.
Nolan Siegel, Josh Pearson going side by side through turn 12. You got to get a good exit out of turn 13. It's a long run through 14 all the way down this front straight.
So a lot happened on that one lap. And here is Rasmussen, championship leader, with a run down the front straightaway. Working on Josh Pearson. This is for 8th. Foster has gotten around James Rowe for 2nd. Can he hang on to it? He can.
It was a late pop, but he was able to stick it on the brakes, steal the inside. He had the pace this morning in practice, was fastest in practice. Hunter McElway jumped out to a 2nd lead at the start of that, and we'll see if Louis Foster can eat into that lead at all, especially using some push to pass to try and catch up and then maybe get a pass done.
The now 20-year-old from England, Louis Foster, is the reigning champion USF Pro 2000. He's been quick this season, looking for more results. He's got a win so far. There is a bit of an issue for Rasmus Lind, who's going to lose a lot of track space. He's almost a straightaway behind.
These guys still have their elbows out. They're bouncing off each other, complaining about running into each other on the radio. They're all pretty familiar with this racetrack, having run in May. They know where the spots they can lean on each other. Victor Franzoni's got a lot of experience. Christian Bogle, excuse me, and there goes Ernie Francis going by Christian Bogle, taking advantage of that momentum swing.
And Francis does get the spot in the Force Indy 99 with HMD Motorsports. No action taken on Rasmussen, so all clean, and he can maintain his position right now in 8th. He's +1 so far. Biggest mover is Francis 3. Jagger Jones and Colin Kaminsky have moved up a couple of spots. Rasmus Lind, Josh Pearson, and Kiffin Simpson have gone the other way, losing 3 and trying to stabilize for the moment. Let's watch the start again from McElway's on board, looking rearward.
And as a pole sitter, you just have everything behind you, and that's the best way. All he was thinking about was the clear track in front of him, trying to make a gap, which is shrinking. Louis Foster is eating into that lead of Hunter McElway. Last lap was 3/10 faster than your race leader.
Yeah, he is now within a car length and a half. Foster got to 3rd at the start. Got James Rowe the next time by. And now is trying to track down Hunter McElway, looking for that first win of the season.
The more time he spends in the dirty air behind Hunter McElway, the harder he'll be on his tires. We have track temps over 115 degrees. That heat, the sun's really come out, the clouds have cleared a little bit this afternoon. That heat will take more and more life and grip out of those Firestone tires. As we get later into this race, we still have over 30 laps to go. That grip's going to get less and less and less. So if Louis Foster wants to do something about it, I think he should drive up to and try and get by in clean air as quickly as possible.
Kiffin Simpson and Jacob Abel have spent a lot of time together. They're back there still fighting over 5th. Abel has moved up 3 spots. There's the lead group. There's McElway. He's gapped it back up a little bit again on Foster, back up to a good, I'd say, 3 to 4 to 5 car lengths for the moment.
And I wonder if they're running a little different aerodynamic package, if maybe Louis Foster has a little less downforce and is faster down the straights, but not quite as quick through the corners. You know, that'll also slide the tires a little more, maybe take a little life out of them towards the end of the race. Hunter McElway starting on up front, you know, maybe has a little more grip, a little more downforce to hold on to those tires through the corner.
Hunter won a couple of times last year, Mid-Ohio and at Iowa on the oval.
He's won twice. He's got 9 podiums. He's really looking for that spark. You talked about how consistent he was. Other than the 13th at Barber, he's been in the top 5 every race this year. But he just needs a spark to win 2 or 3 or 4 out of these last 5 races to put himself in a position to win that championship and that scholarship.
And as the top championship returner, 3rd last year, that's what he was thinking about this year, but the competition is getting stiffer, and Louis Foster is one of those, moving up a level, and I think Foster would probably like to be, certainly everyone would like to be, but expects to be a little bit higher. They've had pace. He did get the win at Mid-Ohio, finished 2nd here in May, but he's had some bad luck at times, sometimes out of his control.
Yeah, and these 2 drivers have history. Don't forget the race in Detroit at the start. Louis Foster was really fast on pole. Hunter McElroy missed his break point, hit a bump, ran over the back of Louis Foster, took them both out of contention. So there may be a little bit of retribution on the mind of Louis Foster as he chases down Hunter McElroy. Although Hunter has stretched it back to about a second. They're running really consistent lap times. One lap Hunter's a 10th quicker. The next lap, Louis Foster a 10th quicker, and they've pulled away a good amount from their teammate James Rowe.
Rowe is in a solid position right now in 3rd after finishing a career best 4th last weekend. James Rowe is 7th in the championship in his 2nd season at this level. I would think he would feel like this has been a solid season, in part because he's made good progress. He's much closer to the front than he was at the start of the season. There's that 5th, 6th, 7th battle right now. Back to Nolan Siegel running in 7th, 2nd in the championship for the moment. Georgia, what are you watching right now?
Oh, of course, I'm watching those Andretti cars that sit 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and Jamie Chadwick in that 10th position. I just caught up with the team and asked them, what is setting your cars apart right now? And they said the guys and girls behind the wheel. I asked them, just as you had mentioned, Charlie, about those aero packages. They said most of these cars are set up very similar. Up and down pit lane, you're only going to see a hole or 2 differential in those rear wings, and our cars are set up very, very similar. So props to them, saying that it's the drivers behind the wheel that are making it happen right now.
Good for them acknowledging the skill and talent of these drivers that they develop, and at the same time, you know, what they're saying, similar setups, is I'm sure they've got the same rear wing, but they probably have different front wing angles, because that's a lot of driver preference. How much front wing you can take is really about driver preference. We see Kevin Simpson thinking about a move on Jacob Abel and not getting it done.
When I talk to engineers, they usually jokingly say it's all about the car setup. It's about the engineer. They usually say that within
earshot of the
driver. Let's hear what the driver chasing down the leader, Louis Foster, is saying right now.
Where is he off of me? So far it looks like turn 7 and turn 12. 124 to 123 push to pass.
Okay, cool. What can you do with that in the middle of the race? You see where he's faster than you. Turn 7, turn 12. How do you make that change? And does it help that they're on the same team? They already kind of know what everybody does.
Well, they know they've got similar setups. They've already seen each other's data from all day-to-day, practice and qualifying. You know, Louis knew where Hunter was faster than him in qualifying, maybe got it done. So he's looking, okay, if he's a little quicker in 7, a little quicker in 12, maybe I'm going to make a micro adjustment. I'm going to turn in a little earlier or a little later.
Remember your bars, reserve your tires.
That's Doug Zister, the engineer, reminding him to remember his bars, take care of his tires. You know, he may not have the pace to run down and pass Hunter now, but there's still over 25 laps to go. Maybe in 20 laps, Hunter's taken more out of his tires. Louis can conserve a little bit and pounce at the end. It's not about leading the first 34 laps. It's about leading the last lap.
How often might someone gamble and say, I'm not going to press super hard, and I'm going to gamble that a caution comes out at some point, and I want to have more tire available if and when we get a restart?
You know, it's hard here. The caution periods here at the Indianapolis road course aren't very prevalent. The opportunities for a yellow don't happen a lot, as we see our championship leader still, Christian Rasmussen, running back in 8th at the moment, losing 16 points out of his lead. But for me, you have to just push. You don't over-aggressive, you don't want to slide the car, but you have to push.
For Christian Rasmussen right here, he probably feels pretty decent at this point because he knows who the closest chaser coming into the weekend was. It was Nolan Siegel, and he's right there in front of him. However, he also knows that lurking not too far behind in third was Hunter McElroy, and he knew he started on the pole.
Right, and Louis Foster finishing second would take a lot of points out of Christian Rasmussen's lead, and it would tighten up the whole field. 5 drivers within 62 points here as they run at the moment.
Looking back to 13th, we're going to find Ernie Francis Jr., and I think we say this just about every weekend. He's the biggest mover in the race. That's what he does. 4 spots up, and he was having a wonderful race last weekend in Nashville, moving forward in position for another really good result. Unfortunately, it went away, like it does for so many, greeting those concrete walls.
Yeah, and that's the challenge with 19 cars in the Indy NXT field this year. You make a little mistake, and instead of finishing 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, you're finishing 18th, 19th, all the way at the back, and it really hurts in the points. So it does benefit consistency, and that's why Hunter McElroy is still part of the championship conversation, is he's been consistent.
Right ahead of him in that white car, third different driver they've had for Cape Motorsports in their return to this level at Indy NXT this season. This is 19-year-old Brazilian Kiko Porto, who won the USF 2000 championship in 2021. That was his second year at that level. He's been with D-Force Racing for 5 years now. F4, 2 in USF 2000. He's in his second year of USF Pro 2000. And he has won a race. He won a race last year, and he is second in the championship this year. He's not done. So he's not going to finish this season, and there's major contact there for Victor Franzoni in his return.
Yeah, that's coming through turn 1 under the brakes. That is in the runoff. Looks like in a fairly safe area. He is way out of the racing line. Hopefully this means we're able to stay green. I can see the AMR safety team going to look at that car, but it's likely we stay green because that's far enough out of the way. There's enough damage. He's not getting back. It's all the way in IMS turn 4 up there on the oval.
Oh, what a shame for Victor Franzoni, because that's such a neat story that someone that won the Pro 2000 championship with this team, with Hukos, won a race for them in 2018. He's been coaching, he's been engineering, and because they had an opening, he's coming in to just kind of help sort the program and maybe one more chance at it.
That looks like a mechanical failure. Gets on the brakes, and the left front just... You can hear that, and all of those marks on the track, that left front is just on the ground. I don't know if there was contact or curb strike or something ahead of time, but that just looks like, and a little like Simon Pagenaud's crash in Mid-Ohio, that's very scary. Fortunately, there's paved runoff. He could just run it way out onto oval turn 4 and let the car slow on its own. But when that fails and you're essentially riding a skateboard on the deck and grinding your way to a stop.
That was the car that won here in May with Matteo Donini, who has since departed the team. We'll see someone else in the car in St. Louis in a couple of weeks. Maybe Matthew Brabham again, who ran for them at Iowa. But we will see Franzoni again later on in the season.
It's another shot of that Franzoni failure and him sliding past the fixed camera there in turn 1. And when that suspension fails and you essentially have zero control, you're a passenger, it is not any fun as a driver.
A little closer battles throughout the field. The red and white car there is Jacob Abel with Kiffin Simpson behind him. They've been going at it. Now Nolan Siegel is a little closer, chasing for 6th, and we're going to see, watch the second car and shot. There's Kiffin Simpson with a little lockup as he's trying to chase down Jacob Abel.
If you define that as a little lockup, Kevin, what's a big lockup?
Well, he's still going.
He is continuing.
A big lockup means you roll through the grass.
Yeah, well, that's true. But a pretty big flat spot on that Firestone left front. And the challenge with that is every time you go to the brakes, it wants to grab that spot again. So it continues to compound, and he's being chased by that young driver who's now came into this race second in the points, Nolan Siegel. Nolan's been really impressive this year for me. I could not believe how composed he was in that race before he graduated high school.
Kiffin Simpson's another one of those that just recently graduated high school and is now a Globetrotter, racing in multiple championships. There's the lead, checking in on Hunter McElroy. It's been pretty stagnant for a little while. Foster is still within range, still ready to pounce. Teammates, as Georgia reported, essentially the same car, so who makes the best of it, who manages the Firestones the best throughout this 35-lap race.
You know, if I'm James Rowe, almost 5 seconds behind the leader here, you know, I've got a little bit of breathing room to Reese Gold. I'm just thinking about running clean, smart laps. If I'm in third, I'm not too worried if those first two cars get racy with each other, because if it comes to tears, I'm in the catbird seat. And you wouldn't wish that on teammates at all, but a win's a win.
There's Jamie Chadwick, who has been on a nice little roll recently, and she is running in 10th, trying to get her 4th consecutive top 10. And I believe that is notable in this season, with generally 19 cars for someone taking a step up to a higher level this season.
I talked to our driver coach, Bob Corona, just after qualifying, and he says, I feel like we're just right on the door, right knocking on the precipice of a big result for Jamie Chadwick. It's just going to take a little bit more, and once we unlock it, she's going to catch fire, and she'll be right with the other 3 drivers in the team.
Here's Kiko Porto, who we were talking about before, who has an impressive resume, getting his first taste at the top level of the development ladder towards IndyCar. Georgia has more.
Well, just as you said, a resume here, not only but a win, 3 poles and 4 podiums between USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000, and 11 starts right here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And I asked him if his experience here in the past has helped him get up to speed today, and he said absolutely. There's no doubt this track is where he feels at home, and he's using that experience right now in his debut with the Indy NXT by Firestone, where he currently runs 12.
We're going to see him again later on in the season in the finale weekend at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, because his championship will be complete. They're going to be racing at Circuit of the Americas the same weekend. Indy NXT and IndyCar are at Gateway, and then he's going to be racing at Portland in his series. I think Miles Rowe's got that championship all but locked up, but it's not locked up. So Porto will continue to fight for that, and hey, there's something to be said about trying to finish in second, because that's tight. Let's hear some radio from the 28 DHL team.
Maintain that gap in front of you, but conserve your push to pass and your tires. We're going to need them.
So they're all talking about saving tires and saving push to pass, thinking if there's a restart, you got to have something to fight with, and you've also got to take care of it, because if you slide around too much, you'll be a sitting duck. Kevin Simpson, with those brake issues we saw earlier, slid long in turn 1. Nolan Siegel said thank you very much, slid down the inside.
That's allowed Jacob Abel to create a little bit of a gap in that 5th place position. And then there's a big train essentially from 6th, all the way back to about 13th. Here it is again, just a little bit ago for 6th.
Kevin Simpson, just a slight lockup, slides outside. Nolan Siegel able to get it down to the apex, get past him. And it's very subtle with that left front grab. That same tire that he flat spotted earlier, wanted to grab, and we've got, looks like a problem for Jagger Jones. Jagger had some real throttle issues, I think, in practice this morning. Did not run a lot of laps, had some mechanical issues. And when you've got a frenetic Friday, as I talked about, any issue like that just compounds and hurts so badly.
Well, they had an issue in the race in Nashville last week as well. And he is well off the pace at this point.
You saw him dive behind the curb in turn 12, and if he was on the pace, the stewards would not appreciate that, would penalize him. But because he's got a mechanical problem, almost looks like that engine's backfiring. Big flames out the exhaust, which is not normally what you see in an Indy NXT car. They don't mind him just trying to get safely back to pit lane.
Yeah, losing laps is less than ideal for the rookie driver. Just in his second year of Formula Car racing after being a champion go-kart racer, but going the stock car route. Just trying to learn at this level in the Total Sim, Mecum Auctions, Cape Motorsports, number 98 car. I think his grandfather, Parnelli, has a birthday coming up this week. So happy birthday, Parnelli, if you're watching on Peacock in California. About the same distance, maybe just a little bit tighter. Louis Foster has generally been about 6/10 behind. They're waiting to pounce. All it takes is a lockup. Even a little lockup by Hunter McElroy. And these two have now gapped by almost 6 seconds on another Andretti Autosport car, James Rowe, who is comfortably in third. There he is back there in that blue Top Con car. And then you see that gold Ticket Clinic car for Reese Gold, HMD Motorsports. Let's listen to some radio on the number 10 car.
Keep being smart here. He's burning up his push to pass in front. Just be patient, and I'll tell you when we can go. Just keep taking care of our race car. Make sure the brakes are good. You're on top of the tools.
The team trying to keep the reins on these young drivers who just want to get the bit between their teeth and gallop to the front. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Save your tires, and more importantly, save your push to pass. You know, Reese Gold, a winner already this year. Push to pass, you get 50 extra horsepower, and every driver says, okay, give it to me all the time, but unfortunately you only have 150 seconds total during the course of the whole race. So you have to manage it. You can use it for 15 seconds per push, which is about the length of this front straightaway, a little longer than that. It's only active when you're at full throttle, and once the leader hits the alternate start finish, or the driver hits the alternate start finish on starts and restarts, it becomes active. So for Louis Foster, Hunter McElroy, they're probably using it in connection to each other. Hunter using it in defense, Louis Foster using it in offense, trying to balance that. Louis Foster looks like he's gotten closer. He's under half a second now.
This is as close as he's been for a little while. It's the first time I've seen it in the 4/10 range for just a moment there. Last lap was still pretty similar, 5/100ths of a second faster than Hunter McElroy. So let's watch the next time to see what we have in the difference in lap time for McElroy and Foster, who continue to gap James Rowe back there in third.
That was a great exit out of turn 13 for Hunter McElroy. Pulled out another 2 or 3 car lengths than he previously had.
Got the same amount of push to passes.
So Hunter McElroy and his engineer having a discussion, I think, lively there.
Is that what we call that?
A discussion, a conversation. We go on board here looking back at Louis Foster, and you can see the rhythm sections of this racetrack when we go on board. You can see how there's lefts, right, left, right, all in connection. There's a lot of flow in discrete pockets here. The turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 combo kind of all flows together. And then this long straight down Holman Boulevard. Right here, heavy braking into turn 7. This next section, big flow section. 7 on the left, 8 to the right, 9 to the left, and 10 to the right. A lot of exit. Really important exit here because you can sneak a pass. And Hunter was late to the throttle there. Really struggling getting the power down, getting the car to turn, it looks like, as they head out and up into turn 12 here. You can sneak a pass into 12, but it's not a primary zone. This exit of 13 is really important. Hunter has consistently been really good out of this corner through turn 14. This corner has, you can see him working his hands. I love white gloves. You can see how busy those hands are as he works the car.
Excellent driving, pulling away from him there. Eyes forward.
Yeah, back-to-back good laps, both a couple of tenths faster than Louis Foster. And that gap, which was down below a half a second, very briefly is back up to 8 or 9 tenths of a second. Just some commentary on this event. So at one point, the schedule had this race not on the schedule. It was a doubleheader weekend in May. I think everybody's happy to race as much as you can in May. But for these young drivers and their partners, and let's face it, it's also opened up some other opportunities. There's some drivers in this event that weren't ready to move up yet in May So I love that everyone was able to carve out some space on the calendar for Indy NXT to be able to race with IndyCar and NASCAR and make this an even better weekend.
And it's an incredible 4-pack of races, right? You have Indy NXT today, IndyCar tomorrow, Xfinity, and then NASCAR Cup Series. You have the top 2 series in both of these disciplines racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in August. What a brickyard weekend.
There's Nolan Siegel still in the championship fight, second in points coming in, third as they run in his rookie season at this level. Everyone on their radios talking tires. What's the 39 team saying? Let's listen.
Gold, who's in front of Abel, just hurt his tire pretty bad, so he might be coming to us as well, but keep doing it.
So Reese Gold, if you couldn't understand, said Gold hurt his tires a little bit. Remember, he was being told to kind of conserve some push to pass. You're eventually going to catch up with James Rowe. Well, now they feel like Gold might be in a little bit of difficulty, and the 39 team probably knows their teammates with 10 where things stand. So that might be an opportunity for Jacob Abel.
And that's a 6-second gap. If they think that a lock-up, a flat spot on those Firestones is going to really hurt the tire, 15 laps to go. That's a big gap for Nolan Siegel and Jacob Abel to catch up to Reese Gold here.
Or no, on push to pass. I just need a one-word answer. I can't understand you. No, no, no.
I like it.
He said, I couldn't
One word
understand
3
you.
times.
Just one word, if I can use push to pass yet. No. Loud and clear. No, no, no. And sometimes radios are like that. Sometimes the radios fail, and as a driver, you just have to take that responsibility and ownership of what's going on in the cockpit. And this battle up front, it's not going anywhere, Kevin.
Last lap, Foster was 2/10 faster, 2/10 faster again this time.
Catching is one thing. We always say this in racing. Catching is one thing, passing is another.
But it's true. It's said a lot because it's true. But you can't pass unless you do catch. And the closer you get, if you start to charge, different drivers don't handle it as well as objects get closer in their mirror.
Yeah, they may appear closer in the mirror, and there are drivers historically that have talked about, yeah, I just got close to the car in front of me and they fell off the road. I didn't have to pass anyone. They just kept making mistakes. Nigel Mansell talked about that, Ayrton Senna, Gerhard Berger, some of these classic icons that if you just apply the pressure because they know who's coming.
Yeah.
And Hunter McElroy knows maybe close enough for a move there.
He's just about there.
I think that's going to be Louis Foster's spot. I think Hunter McElroy is really struggling out of turn 10, and he's pretty good here out of 13, although he wasn't as good that time. I think Louis Foster's move is going to be into turn 12, surprise Hunter McElroy.
Well, and Hunter is his teammate, and he knows he's fast. Foster's won the pole 3 times this year, generally qualifies up front, and he's right there, right now, into turn 1. Maybe not this time, but it is coming.
Hunter McElroy has the right to defend, gets to the inside, holds the inside line. Is Louis Foster going to try and sneak a move somewhere else as well? There are the obvious passing places, turn 1, turn 7, turn 12, but you can sneak a move somewhere else. Louis Foster right on the gearbox.
Here we go. This is a chance right here. He'll pop out to the outside. Hunter McElroy, as is his right, will defend to the inside. They come that close. Foster tries to swing wide. Not this time. Lock up for McElroy, maintains the position. This is going to get feisty. We'll keep an eye on it, but let's find out what happened to Jagger Jones with Georgia.
Well, Jagger Jones out of the car of the 98. He rolled down pit lane and coincidentally enough killed the power as he was rolling down pit lane, pulled into his pit stop. If we remember, he was having throttle sensor issues in practice number 1, and as the team diagnosed, they're thinking it's more of the same. They changed the wastegate on the 98, but never changed that throttle sensor and believe that may be the issue. But unfortunately, Jagger Jones' day is done.
So sorry to see. Development is the key there in his rookie season. They weren't thinking championship this year. It was just about getting laps, learning, being able to maybe go for a championship in year number 2 next year. All right, the gap is a little better this time around for McElroy. Let's go back to the last time through.
Hunter McElroy stays to the inside. Louis Foster, good run. Not giving each other much room. Remember, there's no loss between these two drivers after Detroit's race this year. Hunter able to hold that slight lockup. We'll see if that damaged that Firestone at all. And he continues to lose front grip during the course of these last 12 laps.
I think this is likely to be a fight to the finish between these two. I don't believe you're going to need a caution to shake things up. At some point, Foster is likely to go for it.
And Hunter is desperate for his first win this year. He felt like qualifying on pole, felt like a win earlier today, and now he's got to finish the job out, as he said, and go end up on the top step of the podium here at the Brickyard.
Desperate for a win, but also desperate to stay in the championship. This is a tough decision for McElroy because right now he stands 29 back. He is within reach. Even if he were to drop to second, he would not be out of the championship. But a DNF this late in the season, that takes him out of the championship.
And if Louis Foster passes, it's a 10-point swing for Louis Foster, right? He would get 10 more points. It's 50, 40, 35 as far as the point schedule. Same in IndyCar as in Indy NXT. So it's a big swing for Louis Foster. He would be 52 points back. Hunter McElroy goes to 39 back. So it closes the top 5 up. So we see Nolan Siegel with a big lock up there into turn 1. Kevin Simpson trying to take advantage. But as a driver, I don't think you're thinking championship. I think you're thinking race win. Hunter McElroy really wants that first win of the season.
We're hearing Louis Foster has 10 more seconds of push to pass on Hunter McElroy. That can play into things. Kevin Simpson is going to try to make a move on Nolan Siegel here, and Simpson will get him on the right side of your screen. The left side, you see a Siegel lockup.
That's a big lockup. That's a big lockup, Kevin. That's not a little lockup. That's a big smoke signal out of Nolan Siegel's left front, and now Christian Rasmussen thinking he could take advantage of that as well.
Which are championship points for Rasmussen. Siegel is one of the contenders, but as it stands, he would drop back to third. And now, meanwhile, up front, it remains the same, meaning Louis Foster is still close enough to make McElroy a little bit nervous. So we understand they're teammates. I think, though, that's a different dynamic until you get to the top level. I believe that's a very different level if you're talking every driver is hired. Then you are thinking about the team. Let's face it, at this level, the drivers bring the budget to the team. Yes, it's uncomfortable with your teammate. You'd like to all get along, but it's every man for himself, every woman for yourself, right?
It's still racing, and it's about getting the result for your own personal career for that next step. Now, the step up to IndyCar, if it's with Andretti Autosport, you have to show these team owners what you can do. And sometimes that means elbowing your teammate out of the way.
Now, let me ask you this, though. You're trying to show team owners what can you do. You might also, want to show them I can get along with my teammates.
That's an important element of team morale as well. And I think what Louis Foster would want to do here is make a pass on Hunter McElroy, as we've seen Michael Andretti, the team owner there, first, second, third, and Jamie Chadwick in 10th. He's probably getting nervous watching how closely these cars are running together, how much they're pushing each other around.
Looking good for him. Hey, by the way, since we see Michael, who has been one of the great supporters of all levels of motorsport, Indy NXT and levels below at different times, how about what Linus Lundqvist has been able to do? Last year's champion, unfortunately didn't have an opportunity, got it in difficult circumstances. Best of wishes to Simon Pagenaud. We want to see you back healthy real soon, but took advantage in Nashville and has been quick here this weekend too for Meyer Shank Racing.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And Hunter McElroy was way wide on the brakes in 7. Louis Foster, he's going to sneak it inside. That's going to come to blows.
He got out of it just in time, but the fight will rage on. Right there, nose to tail.
And Hunter McElroy maybe think about driving the car.
Yep.
That's what his engineer Matt's saying. Hey, eyes forward. Let's worry about getting the exit out of 13 here. His next pass, next chance to pass. I thought Louis Foster might sneak that move into turn 12, but turn 10, he thought, I'll try and have a go at it. Has Louis Foster got a problem here?
Ernie Francis has gone around. Can he keep it going and avoid the caution and stay green? He will.
Louis Foster has lost a lot of ground down that front straight. I wonder if he has a problem or if that contact.
He said he has damage. At first I wondered if maybe he just hit the brakes to try to avoid from totally turning his teammate, but maybe there is damage.
That left front's folding under. There's suspension damage on that left front. Something loose. I bet the camber block is loose. That's the part you can adjust shims and it sets the tip in and tip out of the tire. And when he loads that tire, it wants to fall over and completely change the handling of the car because he would have hit. You can see how it pulls out and almost.
Turn the wheel!
Can't even turn the wheel, and this is a long way to go just to try to survive and score points, but he's dropping like a rock. But if you pit, you lose a lap. You mostly just see, can you bring it home and get what you can get? But it has all gone away for Louis Foster. He was going for it in what is a difficult place to pass.
And it's wheel-to-wheel contact there. That energy goes straight into the suspension of that left front of Louis Foster. You know, he's not alongside. It's not a typical place to pass. I don't blame Hunter McElroy for that. You know, maybe he could have given him a little more room, but at the same time, you got to race for it. I'm surprised Louis Foster didn't come down pit lane this time. I know they've got a big gap over the cars behind, but he's not going to be able to sustain that for the next 7 laps.
Let's look at a lap time. The last one was 1:28. That's 10 seconds off the pace. So if he can't pick it up and you're losing 10 seconds a lap, you're going to be at the back in 7 more laps.
You know, you get a really good view that on the back of the car during right-handers, as Jacob Abel looking to take advantage here. When he's going through a right-hander, that left front tips way out. So you can see that left front's way out. The right front's off the ground because the left front's so cambered out.
Yeah.
Looks almost like an oval setup.
Most of the field is running in the 118 range now. Now Foster rolling through the grass. His last lap.
Going to break my finger.
Yeah, copy that. Come on in.
Now he's going to come in.
And with some more experience in these cars and things like that, I think he'll understand next time when he has a contact like that and the damage is that big, he'll call in and say, I got to come to pit lane. Damage is too bad, and mitigate some of that time loss.
So we were set up for what might have been a fight to the finish. The fight started a little bit early, and it ended in one corner for Louis Foster. Hunter McElroy took contact. You heard his radio call. Is his car okay? Seems so. Lap times still solid, although as I say that, his last lap time was a second slower than James Rowe and Reese Gold. Either he's backed up because he knows he has a gap, or is everything okay with Hunter McElroy? Let's keep an eye on those lap times.
Well, that was the lap when he had the contact with Louis Foster, I think. So we'll see what the lap time does as Josh Pearson goes hard up the inside of Nolan Siegel into turn 7, wheel to wheel through turn 8 now. And Louis Foster climbing out of that car. What could have been once again. No, Hunter McElroy is really suffering. He's down at a 118.4.
Yeah, it's back-to-back laps in that range, and that was after the contact.
Yeah, James Rowe is at a 17.3.
So this is not done yet. James Rowe might have a chance to win this race. Reese Gold is still within striking distance as well. Rasmus Lind went around early, and now another issue. And now Francesco Pizzi in his second Indy NXT race. Meanwhile, here's Kiko Porto in his first Indy NXT race, trying to get up in the top 10, working on Jamie Chadwick. He's in the white 47 Cape Motorsports car.
Everyone with 5 laps to go thinking, I don't have to save tires or push to pass anymore. I'm going to do everything I can. That lead is shrinking continually. Under 4 seconds now. Hunter McElroy hoping it doesn't go yellow. These cars are able to keep going and stays green for the moment. But James Rowe and Reese Gold both chasing down Hunter McElroy.
Let's see what happened to Francesco Pizzi. The 18-year-old Italian, that's what happened to Rasmus Lind. And it is under review, just kind of a clumsy corner.
Maybe thought he was going to make a move, but didn't back out soon enough. And
well, these two might be, and there's a lockup for Reese Gold. Unless Hunter McElroy can pick up the pace, is there going to be enough time to catch up? Because they are a second faster than the leader, and it's down to 3 seconds. Meanwhile, someone thinking about the lead early, Louis Foster out of the race with Georgia.
Louis Foster out of the race, indeed. A battle with your teammate. Can we get your perspective on this incident?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said there.
Can we get your perspective on the incident with your teammate?
Yeah, I mean, we were faster all race. I was just managing my gap, managing my tires. I mean, I was watching him. He was sliding around a lot more than I was. So I knew it was coming towards the end. We had more push to pass as well. So, you know, all things being said, we had pretty much, you know, secured a possible win there. But I went for a move and he turned in on me and I got damaged. So, I mean, yeah, second time this season I've collided with that driver. So it's unfortunate, you know, we're teammates. I would have expected a bit of more space being given. I would have given more space myself, but hey, it's racing, it is what it is, but yeah.
Thank you, Louis. Louis Foster.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty clear Louis' perspective on that one, and some great racing throughout the field here. Jamie Chadwick looking at Nolan Siegel for 9th now, heading into turn 12.
And she's got him. If she can hang on to it, she cannot. And now she's going to lose multiple spots.
And
so
Kiko Porto
goes
goes by Siegel.
Yeah, Porto got a couple there, up to 9th on debut.
Siegel may be fighting a flat spot or some damage to that Firestone. We talked about that big lockup on the left front for Nolan Siegel, and maybe that tire issue, the grip coming home to roost now.
Meanwhile, 3 laps to go, and it is going to be close. Rowe and Gold should be there by the time we get to the finish, because McElroy, since the contact, has not had the pace. Continues to run laps about a second off of the other quick cars. Last lap was still 1.2 seconds slower than James Rowe.
And James Rowe's
and he can see him now.
And once you can see that rabbit, it's so much easier to chase him down. He's really come on the last couple of races. A 4th last weekend in Nashville. You know, not great results throughout the year. A 5th at Barber, but he's staring down the opportunity for a win if he can catch and go by his teammate here.
The 24-year-old from Ireland who now lives in Carmel has become one of the great businessmen in motorsport, putting these deals together. He's done it on the racetrack as well. He won a race for turn 3 a couple of years ago in what was then Indy Pro 2000 at Mid-Ohio. That helped jumpstart the program to get to this level. He's done some sports car racing, has a wonderful relationship with TopCon that's allowed him to race with one of the top teams at Andretti Autosport. And today, he might be able to go to victory lane at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He's still charging.
And he's letting Hunter McElroy know he's there. He's bringing that blue nose out into the mirror. Hunter McElroy, we're coming around to the white flag, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time to set this up.
So at one point, McElroy was praying for it to stay green. Now I think he's praying for a caution, for this race to end under caution. I don't see how he can keep Rowe back. He's still a second faster, and he's going to have a full lap right on the rear wing now.
The only saving grace for Hunter McElroy is if he saved a bunch of push to pass and uses it the whole lap this time to keep James Rowe behind him in that 29 blue and white TopCon car.
What is left in the Smart Motors Stelrec car for Hunter McElroy?
Hey, mate, last lap here, last lap.
Can he pick the pace back up after limping since the contact with Foster? Rowe looks to the inside into turn 1. He locks up. McElroy holds him off. There's going to be one more big passing zone for a win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. McElroy back up by 3 car lengths.
This exit will be so key for Hunter McElroy to keep James Rowe behind him.
Be smart and you'll be fine. 5, Matt.
So his engineer Matt really coaching Hunter McElroy. Hey, just be smart, stay calm, you got time. This is the last best spot, but there's still a chance into turn 12. Hunter McElroy just have to get that car cleanly through these switchbacks of 7, 8, 9, and 10.
If McElroy can hold on to this will be a masterful performance. He's been waiting for a win for a year, trying to break through, trying to stay in the championship fight. The car appears to be wounded. It looked like Rowe was going to be able to catch him. Just a couple of more corners to go. Rowe is 2 car lengths back, looking for his first win at this level. McElrea looking for his first of the season. Final corner, back on the main straightaway. Hunter McElrea has held him off. McElrea has won at Indy.
Masterful drive by Hunter McElrea, absorbing that pressure from his teammate James Rowe, absorbing the pressure and the contact from his teammate Louis Foster, coming home with his first win this year. He said qualifying on pole felt like a win. Now he's done it and will stand on the top step of the podium here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And I would say a brilliant drive for James Rowe as well. He may have come up short, but he qualified up front. He kept it up front. He made a charge late. He kept it clean with his teammate. And James Rowe is on the podium in Indianapolis, and so is Reese Gold.
And Christian Rasmussen with a fight back to 6th. Not a great weekend.
Right on, man. Good job.
Pure glee there for Hunter McElrea. And we'll see if this victory and win sets fire to his momentum and he can finish out the season running down Christian Rasmussen in the championship.
And I'll be curious to hear what the issue was with the car, what he was struggling with for those final 6 laps, just trying to hang on.
It may have been just that he was running so hard, he'd taken a lot of grip out of those Firestones. You saw the last lap, how busy his hands were. He was sliding the car around. Even Louis Foster in his interview after he was knocked out of the race said, I could see he was sliding the car around. And you know, if I'm Louis Foster, I'm looking back at that and seeing what I'd do differently, and I'd bide my time. If I know the tires are going off, I'd just wait for a more consistent passing location on the racetrack and make sure that, okay, I've had issues with that driver, as he said before, make sure that it's clean and I'm protected on the overtake.
There's 2 big passing zones. You know, hindsight is always 20/20, but you had still 7 laps to go or whatever it was.
Yes.
And you've got 1 and 7. And from McElrea's perspective, maybe the car is fine. It's just as you say, the tires were used up, and he was smart enough to realize, I'm up by 5 seconds. I'll manage that gap, try to have something left. When they catch me, then I give it all I got.
And like we said, catching is one thing, and James Rowe caught him. Passing is a whole different kettle of fish.
Well, it may have been a pole to victory lane win, but it was anything but routine. Hunter McElrea and these young drivers entertained us today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, wrapping up what has been an awesome day. Started at 9 a.m. We'll have more of the same tomorrow with 3 different series on track. Xfinity from NASCAR at 9:35. They'll practice and qualify. Same for NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar at 2:30, and then Xfinity in the evening. Everything is on either Peacock or USA tomorrow, and then NBC Sunday has the Cup race. Here from the Brickyard. The story right now, though, is Hunter McElrea. He has won at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Georgia.
He sure has. First win of the season for Hunter McElrea, and he did it right here at the Brickyard at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Congratulations from Michael Andretti and team. And I think the smile says it all in a situation like this. And Hunter, you told us earlier today that pole position felt like a win, but now you've done it and you secured that win. So what are the feelings and emotions now?
That was the hardest race of my life. I mean, from about lap 15, I burned my rears off. You know, I think we probably favored the qualifying car a bit much this weekend, and yeah, I had nothing for Louis there, you know, to be honest. I don't know what happened. I have to look at the footage, but I was just surprised about the contacts, but I hate to see that. He should have been fighting for the win the whole way. He was very fast, but yeah, at the end there, I have no idea how I somehow, here it is. Yeah, it's tough, man. I respect him a lot. It's hard racing, but yeah, I mean, championship battles heating up now, which is good. Hopefully they're not that hard, but I mean, hey, the win's a win, so just so happy. Thanks to the team, we never gave up, and P1, let's go.
How was this Andretti Autosport number 27 throughout the course of the last 8 or 9 laps?
I think it was a bit self-inflicted, but it was a handful. I was holding on for dear life. James is catching me a second lap there. I was like, he was catching me a second lap, and we had like the same amount of laps left, so I'm like, this is gonna be tough, but you know, big respect to him. Great job, happy to see him on his first podium. Yeah, just happy for the team. You know, we're back in the fight. Let's go.
The hardest race of his life, and he ends up on top. That is Hunter McElroy securing his first win of the season with the Indy NXT by Firestone.
Well, it takes all types of skills to be able to win, and he was quick to start today, and now it was just being able to manage what was left of the Firestones. Congratulations, Hunter McElroy. He gets it done.
And James Rowe chased him hard, couldn't quite get that pass for the win. Reese Gold finishing out the podium. But also really impressed with Jacob Abel. Didn't qualify particularly well. Ran clean and solid all the way through to 4th.
Good result for Kiffin Simpson, too. A top 5 at Indy. Josh Pearson with a really good result. Kiko Porto on debut finishes 9th. Colin Kaminsky gets 11th out of the day. Fortunately, Nolan Siegel has his 3rd in the last 4 in the teens. A couple of 15ths and a 12th, hurting his championship flair. Well, another really big day, I think, for James Rowe. He may be disappointed, Georgia, but he should be really happy.
And you're exactly right about that, Kevin. We were just talking a bit of a bittersweet moment. Your best finish in the Indy NXT by Firestone, but it seemed like you had something there. What more did you need?
So, yeah, first of all, great first podium with Andretti Autosport home here in Indianapolis for the team, so pretty happy for that. Yeah, I think I went conservative to start and pushed the pass. Louis got by me. I knew he was quick. I knew he'd put Hunter under pressure, so I saved, pushed the pass. I mean, I didn't use it for 20 laps. I was just cruising around there. And the deg here was actually quite big this weekend, so I burned a lot of the tire off when we were doing that. And then when I went to use the push the pass at the end, I didn't have the tire to match the amount of push the pass that I had. So I got a wiggle out of the second last on my run on McElroy, and it wasn't enough. But hey, podium here. We've been on a run recently. We're super fast in Nashville, qualified in the second row, and yeah, here we go. Just not enough tire, but hey, there we go. You see it locks up. So if there's anyone to win, it's him. We're good friends, so we just got to keep this going.
Is this a testament to you as a driver, giving it all you have?
Yeah, I think it's a testament, I guess, to the team. You know, this team is just phenomenal. Len Pascas, my engineer, is awesome. The team's awesome. Anything you want with these guys, they give it to you. So it's a credit to drive for them.
Well, congratulations nonetheless. Best finish in the Indy NXT by Firestone. That's James Rowe Jr. Guys, Charlie, Kevin, what a day here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Really fun day, really fun weekend, and we are just getting started. And the championship is a little bit tighter now. It was 45 on the day for Rasmussen on Nolan Siegel. Now there is a new number 2.
Hunter McElroy moving into that second spot, 33 backs from Christian Rasmussen. Rasmussen, damage control today. Hunter McElroy, the best job he could. Pole, leading the most laps and winning maximum points for him. Moves into second. Nolan Siegel falls back. Jacob Abel still in the conversation. 57, only 2 points behind Nolan in third. Louis Foster with that DNF really falling further and further behind. I really think it's the top 4 in the conversation.
4 rounds to go. The next is the second and final oval of the season in St. Louis, Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. That's at 3:55 Eastern, coming up on Saturday the 26th. Tomorrow, the Gallagher Grand Prix, IndyCar, 2 o'clock on USA, 2:30 green flag. NASCAR all day on the NBC family of networks as well. For Charlie Kimball and Georgia Henneberry, I'm Kevin Lee. Congrats. Hunter McElroy has won at the world's greatest race course.